But anyway, let's start this. Let's start this. But first of all, as usual, thank you to Frey for providing the visuals. I always ask Frey to create all these visuals you see on the screen, so I really appreciate them. Like, I'm pretty sure Frey doesn't even play the game. So I'm low-key just asking them to make the visuals for the tier list every season at this point, so really appreciate them. But anyway, what do we think of the current meta? Wait, is it loud? Hold up, is it loud? Should I lower it down? Lower it down. Anyway. What do we think of the best 2 weeks of our life so far, guys? The best 2 weeks of our life so far, the Fantastical Parade meta. Just get me to the next tournament. But I'm going to this is the ass. This is the 10th what do you call this? This is the 10th season of rank, guys. Oh shit, hold up. This is the 10th season of rank so far. Same decks like 2 seasons ago. Same decks, but add something evil, right? We got same decks. But yeah, like I feel like this is the 10th season, and I genuinely think this is the worst rank season so far. Like even if you include the seasons without rank, this is still by far the worst in my opinion. Like it's still by far the worst. It's not even close. And if you don't agree, then you just never experienced this season. You just haven't got robbed enough times. Every game next season will have coin. But anyway, let's get started. What should we start first with? I like this season, I just hate Lucky Pop. Interesting take. Eevee still, bro, nah, this stops it. Eevee is the Stokeshard meta, right? That was bad, yeah, I agree, but I think this stops it, no question. At least for my personal experience. But Secluded, nah, bro, this is worse than Secluded Springs. Darktina, nah, bro, bring me back to Darktina. Darktina Mirror, bring me back. Bring me back. Speaking of, let's start with Darktina. Now that we just mentioned Darktina, ban him. Mods, ban him. Let's start with Darktina. Actually, Darktina is actually playable this season, right? It actually came back from its tomb. First season, real. I mean, actually, I was bad at Darktina on the first season, but I agree with you, Tremor. But Darktina is a mid-tier this season. It got buffed by the stadiums, but it was still not enough for it to fully come back to the meta. But it's playable. It's playable, right? I enjoyed playing it at the start before ranked actually came back. But it's actually playable now. As compared to the past 2 seasons, Darktina was completely unplayable. Yeah. It's definitely B rank. Like, it's never touching anything. It's definitely mid. Unfortunately, the GOAT is mid. But next deck, what should? Oh, all right. Let's immediately get to the face of this. Let's get to the face of this set. Gardevoir. Gardevoir. What do we think of Gardevoir? S tier. Bro, did you guys see what do you call this? Do you guys know Mega Mogwai? Do you guys know Mega Mogwai? Have you seen Mega Mogwai's tweet? We need to add E tier. Have you guys seen that Mega Mogwai tweet? Like, no hate to Mega Mogwai, okay? But like, it's so funny. They made a long ass tweet to Gardevoir like Gardevoir will change the game, will change the meta. It's going to be broken. It was so funny when I read that tweet. But Gardevoir is Loki dog water. Dog water. I'm sorry, Mang Birting. I'm sorry. It's not even cope. It's not even cope because it's letter D for dog water. Darktina is A tier? Nah, bro. Darktina is mid. It cannot compete against against the top decks, unfortunately. Wait until Mega Mewtwo. Oh, new cope. All right, what's next? Where should the Yeah, unfortunately, Mega Gardevoir was the moment we saw that 110 attack, right? It was we knew it was doomed. We knew it was doomed for it. Let's get to Kangaskhan. I think Kangaskhan was actually the card that we hyped up and actually performed well for what's it worth, right? I think people are forgetting that Hydreigon hits Giratina EX without real. Like bro, why would you make 3-point card a freaking RAM card? What? Yeah, let's go with Mega Kangaskhan. We have a lot of Mega Kangaskhan, and Mega Kangaskhan was actually a card we predicted was going to be good, and it actually ended up being good. Unfortunately, it's not at the top of the meta, right? And the first meta Kangaskhan that we predicted it was going to be in was Daker, and I really enjoyed playing Daker for sure. But as we expected, it couldn't really compete in the meta once rank came back because it kind of loses hard to Hydreigon, and Orizone matchup is cooked, and it's also not the best against Altaria. Like, it's pretty high rolly. It's pretty much what it is. So I think I'll put Daker on Cope tier. Like, Loki even here. Actually, it's better than Darktina because you can actually spam games with the Daker Kangaskhan. Unlike Darktina, you have like 15-minute games that you will end up losing. So there's that. Now Obstagoon is here. We'll get to Okay, Obstagoon is on the it's next in line after Kangaskhan. Let's just finish the Kangaskhan decks. But other Kangaskhan that immediately got played was also Kangaskhan and Pichu Oricorio. Like, as I always say with Pichu Oricorio and then, you know, a new card, they're cope. They're always cope in my opinion. Like, if you need Pichu and Oricorio to enable a deck, a lot of the time it's probably mid. So it's going to the mid tier. And also people even were playing Kangaskhan Magnezone, right? Like, we're just playing everything at this point. People even played Magnezone and Kangaskhan, but unfortunately this is also another mid-ass deck. Oh my god, is Kangaskhan actually a fraud? Because I think actually all the Kangaskhan are just straight up mids, no? There was also a Kangaskhan Greninja deck that was played early in the season, and people actually did had a lot of success with it, but unfortunately, to no one's surprise, it was also a mid deck that never even saw the light of ranked usage. I'd say it's probably here though, probably somewhere there. So probably here, something like that. Kangaskhan, yeah, unfortunately it gets destroyed by Rocket Helmet. It's just really bad against Hydreigon. It's just really bad against the top meta, unfortunately. And then gets one-shotted by Altara with Training Arena. I actually forgot about the Poison Kangaskhan because I do think Poison Kangaskhan is going to be A. Okay, I'll actually put the Poison Kangaskhan on A tier. If it was here, I just forgot to add it because Poison Kangaskhan appeared when these visuals were already completed. So it would be A. It would be A for sure. Kamaster getting hit. Yeah. But Obstagoner, we will never forget another potential Mon. Although congrats to Sylar again. Sylar the GOAT won with this day one. People thought it was the new thing, and then unfortunately it actually was a straight up fraud. It's actually in Cope tier. First Cope tier deck. Not even mid. It doesn't even deserve a spot in the mid tier, unfortunately. Because it is straight up Cope. Agree? Like, the reason and the main reason why it's Cope as a broken supporter, but the deck has terrible. Yeah. And also, you're competing with the strongest deck of this meta. You're competing with the most broken deck of this meta. I know that was the biggest real bro. I never believed in Obstagoon. The moment I saw that, I'm like, bro, we have Hydreigon. Why are you going to play Obstagoon instead of Hydreigon? Like, just play this. Do not try to be different. Hydreigon real. And there you have it. Straight up, the best deck of this season. Ice Papa put it way to the top. It pushed it to the S tier. It's last season. Hydreigon. I put Hydreigon in A tier last season, but this season, I do believe it's straight up S tier. Straight up just S tier. And for the reason that Ice Pop, even this is not a deck, it deserves a place on this. It deserves a place on this tier list because it's the most broken card they've ever printed to date. Like, straight up. Like, if you tell me I'm having skill issue if I lose to Ice Pop, like, then I will pray for you to get flip 10 heads on. Like, I will be down on my knees. I will pray for you to experience 10 heads of Ice Pop. As for Senses, Ice Pop doesn't feel like a real card. Top tier means needs a nerf. Yeah, like this SS, like, it's just straight up broken. It's straight up broke the game. Straight up broke the game is what I think. Like, it's just broken. Like, you can probably make an automated AI, make it autoplay Hydreigon, and you will hit rank 1. Like, that's how simple to play Hydreigon is probably. The counters to them still real. Like, even if the counter, like, you do need you need a lot of things. But anyway, let's move on to our next deck. Let's get to this grass, guys. Ogerpon Leafeon. The problem is Ice Pop is recoded to Ogerpon Leafeon. I think Ogerpon Leafeon actually deserves to be an A. I never believe in this deck, but it's real because people are climbing with it, and I cannot go against I cannot go against results, right? We cannot deny the results that it's working for a lot of people. So it's definitely, I do think it deserves to be an A tier. The CGI, however, it's still I think it's really strong. It's you can easily also hit 124 with Ogerpon. The main problem we had with Ogerpon was that it might be hard for it to hit for 120, but it actually is easy for it to hit 120, right? And its passive is really good right now, especially with all of the Hydreigon, all of the poison things. But anyway, the CGI actually saw some play midweek this season. I believe I faced a lot of Decidueye during the middle of this, or rather last week. Last week I faced some Decidueye, but Decidueye is still cope. I do believe Decidueye is still cope, but I think it is at least better than Obstagoon. Desi feels more cope. Yeah, like why are we playing Decidueye in a Hydreigon meta? It's yeah. And also there's just Hydreigon, and this Decidueye gets farmed by Hydreigon, right? Problem with Ogerpon is that it loses to Altaria and Suicune. Yeah, I do agree with you. Suicune and Altaria should have the upper hand, but again, you have your chances. That's what makes this deck good, because you do have chances. But also another favorite deck of Mangberting. Mangberting, unfortunately, your two favorite decks will be together. Yeah, your two favorite decks are top two. Top two at the bottom, unfortunately. I did see this. I'm surprised I did see this deck this season though. Like, I thought we already forgot about Whimsicott. But I did still see it on the early days of the season. Especially Altaria. Yeah, I agree. Anyway, let's get to our water decks first before these two guys. Let's get to the water decks first. Suicune. Do I even think Suicune is still S tier? Actually, yes. Suicune is still S tier. Suicune is still S tier, but it's not. I feel like there's still there's a lot of gap between these two. That's why I think Hydreigon deserves its own tier, because there is a gap between them. Like, Suicune is still strong, but Hydreigon is stronger than ever. It will never die. And of course, Suicune Greninja EX is still up there. Actually, it's actually S tier, because Double Greninja EX is actually better than ever before. Like, against Altaria, against even Hydreigon. So I do think it still deserves to be an S tier. But again, like, there's a bit of gap between them. Like, Hydreigon is still by far the better deck in terms of climbing ranked. And another favorite content deck of people, I actually saw quite a lot of play with Alola Ninetales and Groudon this season. Especially before rank came out, I was seeing this so much in casual. But unfortunately, it's not even mid tier. It's cope tier at best. Like, probably here. I probably put it here, because it does have, the chance to cheese. It definitely has a chance to cheese decks, because it's so inconsistent. Dog water. Bro, someone here hates someone here is a hater. Someone here hates Alola Ninetales Groudon. Either cope or dog water. Let's put it at cope. I guess. Because you can be caught off guard by this. That's the problem. I tried playing it, it's just so bad. But anyway, moving on to Swampert. Swampert actually got placed high on the first week of the season on the tournament. But unfortunately, this is a bad deck. Cope, real. It is. Let's put it at cope. It's definitely cope. No doubt about it. And another one, Gyarados Jellicent also saw some play on the first week, right? Because it got a bit of an upgrade because of training area. It's better than Alola Ninetales, but still cope. Oh, you do. I guess I do get to be fair, I do not really know what the strength of these two decks are. But yeah, I do see. Mid tier? You'd put this at mid tier? Nah, this is scope, no? This is scope. This is scope. Gyarados is another cope. Like, I'd even put it here. Because you're just going to get sniped by Absol if you play this. I yeah, I just mentioned you, Mangberting. I just mentioned you. I just mentioned you earlier when I put it there. Your two favorite decks are top two. Top two at the bottom, unfortunately. Anyway, let's move on. Moving on to Magnezone Oricorio. Magnezone Oricorio is actually has mellowed down this season, but it still sees some play because it makes sense. You just have to dodge the High Dragon matchups, and even then you can win some High Dragon matchups, and like it's not the worst. It's a bad matchup for sure, but it's not the end of the world. So I think it's still 8 tier. I think it's still 8 tier for sure. So there's that. And moving on, let's get to Mawile actually. Bro, Mega Mawile is one of the most Mickey Mouse decks I've faced this season. Like, there's just something about this deck. I keep on losing to this deck. Like, it's objectively a bad deck, but I keep on losing to it. It's insane. So, like, I will actually put this in mid tier though. Like, the thing with it is, it can cheese games. Because you have Metal Barrier, you have Lucky Ice Pop, you have all the evil things you can use to make it survive actives, but so I do believe it's still mid tier. I'd even put it. I wouldn't put it above, but it's somewhere here for sure. Let's just put it on last. Put those ice pops in the trash. But anyway, moving on. Let's go to the two stall decks of this meta. Let's go to the two stall decks. I think the most popular stall deck of the season is definitely indeed Snorlax. I've lost a lot to this season using Suicune because I do think it has a good mashup into Suicune, and you like you have some decent mashups, but the problem is it's a slow game, and then it's just a slow game, and you just really just stall. Actually, so strong, but 30 real. I do think it's actually strong, like based from my experience facing it. Like I pretty much get steamrolled as long once they get to the 4 energy, and obviously my opponent just flips heads every time on their ice pop. But I think it's going to be in mid tier. I don't think I'll put it higher on mid tier because like it's not a rank grind efficient because like as we said it takes a hell long of time to play it. And another one is Steelix Indeedee. I do think Steelix Indeedee is a bit better than Snorlax Indeedee. Because you actually have a chance against Oricorio. You actually have a chance against Oricorio because you can stall out to your Onix, and you can be a bit faster with Brock as well. Don't believe the stall deck propaganda. I mean, I don't believe it, but it works for a lot of other people, right? So again, we respect results in this tier list. In this tier list, we respect results. We do not ignore the results. Tegan would like to have some words with you. Mawile is more cope than mid. Nah, bro. I'd say this is mid because I keep on losing to it on ladder. Like I do get your point with saying it's cope, but I do think it works for a reason, right? Like it's so cheese, but it works for a reason. too slow to ramp and even slower if at turn 1 if go first. Yeah, but that's why you have 5 million metal core barriers. It's a Mawile 19 trainer. Like that's why you have 5 million metal core barriers, you have Adaman, you have ice pump, you have everything. But anyway, let's get to Charizard. We'll get into Charizard later in a bit. Let's get to Chandelier Meowth though. I actually thought Chandelier Meowth was a real deck because it had some promising results on tournament, right? But no one actually used it on ranked. No one actually used it on rank is my surprise. Which also makes sense because it it's going to be hard to compete with the top decks. It unfortunately is hard to compete with top decks using this one. I saw it. Yeah, I did see it on the first week, but other than that, I never saw it again. I do think it can still sit on mid tier because it actually can perform on a best of 3 on a tournament. Yeah, it unfortunately can simply win against the tournament. Against the top decks. I'll put it in here, I guess, or somewhere there, something like that. Yeah, Chandelier got one shot by Hydra. Yeah, like it's unfortunately not a ranked deck. And let's get to Mimikyu Greninja. I think a Mimikyu Greninja is one of the better original decks that we've had this season. I mean, although to be fair, it's like Greninja Giratina slap, but it was a fun deck. It's a fun deck to play. Shout out to Sekaru and the boys that created this deck. I've had a lot of fun playing this deck myself. I will put it on rank Hyrule Demons Thrill. I do think it deserves to be in a mid tier. I guess I'll put it here. I'll put it high on the mid tier. Because unfortunately, it's competing with a lot of Greninja decks that we will be talking. Like, you know, you're competing with S tier Greninja deck. And you will also be competing with other Greninja decks that's also higher than it. Which is also just better. If you want to play rank. Like, you only ever play Mimikyu if you want some variety. Because I do believe it's a good deck. Add Meowth Alt Ninja to tier list. This deck is crazy. I'd probably put it on. It's probably going to be A tier immediately. Probably A tier. It's because you know it's just like Altaria Greninja. Because Altaria Greninja is definitely an A tier deck. Like, where would I put it? I probably put it here. Probably here. It's just not yeah, unfortunately it's not a climbing deck, yeah, like Mimikyu Greninja. Because you just have better options, like I always say, like whenever I put a deck on mid tier, we always have to look at what's on top of it. and as you can see, we have a lot of decks at the top. And like you consider these decks first whenever you're going to hit the Q button, right? Before you ever consider everything that's below it. But for the last Greninja Slap deck, I do think Absol Greninja is also still A tier, but I'll put it on the lower end though, because it's a bit, it needs a bit of skill to be played, and also it's a bit more bricky. Like that's always my problem with this Greninja Slap decks. It's a bit bricky if it's not Suicune. But I do think it's still a good deck for sure. Like, because you have Chingling, you have Greninja. It's a really good control deck. And let's just put let's tier this last Absol deck. Absol Crobat, I did still see a bit of Absol Crobat on the first few weeks, but I think Absol Crobat is scope tier this season. Like, why are you playing Absol Crobat when again you have Hydreigon? Like the dark decks, if you look at the dark decks, you actually have Hydreigon. So you have no other reason to play any other dark deck than Hydreigon. And Blaziken, let's get to Blaziken. Let's discuss the last three Altaria decks last. Let's get to the last two fire decks. Blaziken. Blaziken is unfortunately mid tier. I'll put it on the top though, because I think Blaziken is still good. Blaziken is still good. Like I will not deny that Blaziken is still good this season. Up. I will not deny that Blaziken is still good this season. But again, unfortunately, look at all the decks above it. You have better choices. Respect for my goat. Oh, bro, I love Blaziken, but my love for Blaziken diminished because this deck owns me so bad in rank. I keep on getting owned by this deck on rank. Blaziken and Charizard are both very disrespected this season. Speaking of Charizard again, right? Like I just started playing Charizard on. Actually, Tremors is right. I think I can actually put Blaziken on A tier, but it's on the lower end. It's on the lower end. It's on the lower end. Alt Ninja healthy deck. I haven't follow. we might have to change a healthy deck, but don't worry guys. A healthy deck question mark. There is a question mark. Blaziken can beat all the. Yeah, I think that's the problem, right? That's why Blaziken is still definitely good. Alt Ninja has to be S? What do I think about that? I guess I see the vision. I guess because your number one problem with Alt Ninja was is who do you call this? Your number one problem with Alt Greninja is Oricorio, but you're not facing a lot of Oricorio decks this season. But I don't think I'll put it on S. I'll put it at the highest one on A tier though. But I do get that it can be S because you have a lot of Altaria Greninja versions. You have the 2 Jirachi versions, you have the 2 Chingling, and you even have the Meowth version now. Like, just pick your poison. S for sure, bet. But anyway, Charizard. I just started playing Charizard yesterday? Yeah. I just started playing it yesterday. And I actually like it. It's actually a really good deck. It's actually it's actually the best Charizard we've had. The best Charizard version we've had for sure. Of all the Altaria decks, that's the one lose to the most. Is it? You mean it's like the strongest Altaria version? High mid? Nah. Do I put? I feel like a. Nah. It's in A tier. It's in A tier. A tier. A tier. I'm biased. It's in A tier. It's in A tier. It's on the low end though, because of Cyrus. I do get what you mean, but we also just saw the, what do you call this? The final game I played before we started the tier list, right? My opponent just straight up bricked, like pretty bad too. I'd rather play against Alt Ninja than Altaria Pumpkin, and that I agree with Jokrazi so much. I agree with Jokrazi so much with that. Now you have Alt Ninja and Zard. I mean, to be fair, that's why you have ones on the higher ends, right? Because like, I feel like Altaria is here, and then like even if they're on the same tier, they're not really super duper. There's still a bit of gap for that because I'm like if I put Altaria on S tier, that means it's as good as Suicune Greninja, but it's only as good as Suicune Greninja if you hit. Yeah, it's high A and low A. Yeah, it's not like they're equally strong decks. It's definitely high A and low A for sure. Yeah, same tier, but there's levels for sure. Where would you rank Entei? I mean, Entei and Blaziken is just and Indeedee is just pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same deck. You're just adding Indeedee Slap, which actually makes it worse if you add Indeedee Slap because you can break Indeedee, and it's also a liability, and you're wasting deck space. But anyway, let's get to the final 3 Altaria decks. I feel like Altaria is actually... What I'll say about Altaria this season is Altaria is the strongest deck. As long as it's not getting... As long as it's not breaking. It's like... It is the perfect deck this season. You can argue Alt Ninja... Yeah, I agree with you. I do agree with you, Tremors. But this deck relies way too much on high rolling. This is the thing I hate about this deck. You're literally living on your copycat. Like, if you don't draw copycat, you might as well just concede. I do agree with you though. Like, it's a really good deck. I will not argue with that. It's a really good deck. You can say the same for Hydreigon. Guys, what's the difference? All right, let's put our thinking caps on. What's the difference between Hydreigon and Alt Ninja? What is the difference between Altaria Greninja and Hydreigon? Let's put our thinking caps on for a bit. Altaria Greninja doesn't have space for 2 freaking Ice Pop. If you can find space for 2 Ice Pops, sure, let's put it here. Exactly, Hydreigon needs less to make it work. Exactly, Tremors put it perfectly. You only need Hydreigon for Hydreigon to work. For Altaria Greninja, you need Altaria Greninja Cyrus. Hydreigon, real, bro, literally, Hydreigon remove itself of the worst card on the deck and just straight up put Ice Pop. Yeah. Okay, now we're seeing eye to eye, right? Now we're seeing eye to eye. Bet. Now we're seeing eye to eye. That's what I love to see. There's but anyway, I think actually the standard this Altaria Indeedee deck is, I would say, the classic Altaria list, and it's actually not. I think it isn't even Indeedee isn't even getting played on Altaria anymore. I feel like it's not the best card anymore. It doesn't really have space in the Altaria deck anymore. So I think I'll put it on the lowest A tier because the other Altaria decks are just better. You have so many Altaria. You have so many Altaria decks this season. I replaced Indeedee with Comfey. Yeah, and that makes sense. And that makes so much sense. Because I think the standard Altaria list is not just good anymore. Because you just have so many better Altaria decks right now. But this Altaria Chingling list, by the way, is a bit encompassing of the one with Jirachi and Tapu Lele versions and all that stuff, right? Their commonality is, of course, you have 2 Chinglings and that's that. It's less about keeping Altaria alive but knowing when to go in. Yes, real. But I will put it on A tier though. I do think it's still A tier. I'll put it here. Somewhere here like that. I guess I'll put it here because the 2 Altaria decks above it are just a different level. That like they're just a different level. Like these Altaria decks are still good, but the top two Altaria decks are just a level above them. I actually faced also a double Mars Altaria list the other day, Young Dev, and I was actually so surprised. Like, that's insane. You're playing two Mars in your Altaria list. You are greedy. Which deck is best for climbing? Hydreigon. Play 5,000 games of Hydreigon, you will get to where you want. But anyway, for the last deck of for our last deck this season, there's no bro. I talked about Decidueye earlier. I think Decidueye got some play last week. I saw a bit of Decidueye last week, but it's still a bad deck. It's still cope for sure. In other words, sell your soul. But anyway, I think, guys, in a perfect world, oh wait, where did that go? Wait, hold on. In a perfect world, right? In a perfect world, Altaria Gourgeist is the best deck this season. In a perfect world, it has no bad matchup. Theoretically, on paper, Altaria Gourgeist has no bad matchup. You have Chingling. Chingling deals with this. Chingling deals with this. Chingling. You have Pumpkin. Pumpkin deals with the worst mashup you have. Which is Oricorio. Actually, I forgot about Jolteon Tremors. I'm sorry, but Jolteon will be in cope tier. Yeah, Pumpkin has all the, and the best thing about Altaria Pumpkin is your 7th card. Your 7th card is very flexible. You can either play Jirachi, you can either play Comfey, you can either play Klefki if you want. You can literally play any 7 card you want. Like, play Furfrou, I don't care. No Blasep. I need to make an apology video on Blacephalon. Like, I expected that card to be something and it never got played. So funny. But yeah, I think theoretically Altaria is the best deck, but unfortunately Hydreigon is just a different beast this season. Like, we have to understand this deck has space for two of the most. Now, this deck has space for a lot of evil cards. Hydreigon itself is evil. Ice Pop is evil. Copycat is evil. It's just running everything. All the bad cards that they printed in recent times, it's in Hydreigon. I saw only like 2 Oricorio pairing rank cards. Yeah, like that's why I'm surprised people are having success with Oricorio with all the Hydreigon decks, but it also makes sense, like, pretty much just dodge it. But yeah, I think this is the tier list for the season. Wait till they fit our bro, the only thing that's holding back a Hydreigon actually is it has no more space for other tech cards. Bro, if it has more space for tech cards, Hydreigon would actually be better. Bro, are you also an S tier believer now, bro? This is not S tier. This is not S tier, guys. This is not S tier. But I get the vision. I get the vision why a lot of you would put it in S tier. I see the vision why a lot of you guys would put it in S tier. That's the no. No. I'd say I mean, yeah, I can agree with low S, but personally I still think it's A. Poison Kangaskhan also better than everything in A besides Grand Altaria. Now I'll actually put Poison Kangaskhan somewhere in A for sure. I do agree with you on that. But I do not have the visual for it. And also, Oricorio, 18 trainer Oricorio is on cope tier. I did not include it, but it will be on cope tier. But yeah, I think this is the tier list for this season. The worst meta rank season we've ever had. I guess if we have anything to it's definitely, I guess this is definitely the most divided placing we have on this tier list. But yeah, I get if you guys will put this in S. I think I personally just don't lose to it that much. from my personal experience, because it breaks so bad. It breaks so bad. It literally relies on hitting copycat. Like, and if you're going to rely on hitting copycat, just straight up play High Dragon. It was bad but not bad. Oh hell na, bro. Sekaru, collect your teammate. Bro, you do not deserve to say it was not that bad when if you're tribing with the best deck of this season. The best deck of this season, theoretically the best deck of this season. You need to experience playing the bad decks. I miss Misty. Oh hell nah, bro. Not the Misty shooter. Mods ban Lacewood for promoting Misty agenda. But anyway, I think that's that for the tier list. Winning was fun, real. That's actually real though. So we definitely have different experiences this season, right? But I feel like this is the season where majority of the players are just having the worst time of their life. And if you're not one of us, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you save your mental. Where is Mega Man? Mang Berting, you would not believe this. Mega Medicham, it will be top 3. Top 3 at the bottom of this tier list. Your favorite decks will be top 3. Don't worry.